So if you're going to go to the trouble of collecting all those email addresses and putting them into a database and paying for your email marketing software, then you should actually probably use that in some way. The question is, should you be going to the effort of putting together this beautiful crafted email newsletter with lots of links and articles and updates and things like that? Is that a good use of email marketing? My name is Chris Hargraves, and I am from digitalmarketingforlawyers.com, and this is the Digital Marketing Mastery series. Email newsletters. We all know that we get more email than we would prefer to get. That is pretty much a universal truth. Interestingly, some people get significantly more email than other people do, and we all still feel like we get too much, even if it's things we signed up for. So the question is, how can we as lawyers respectfully communicate with our clients in such a way that they are receiving useful information from us via email, so that we are using that permission that we have without making their life a horror story and without doing ourselves a disservice by burying our content? That last comment probably gives you a hint what I think about email newsletters. The biggest problem by far with email newsletters is that they are too busy. Now that's a double entendre. The newsletter itself is too busy in its design. Newsletters by their nature have a lot of content in them. They have sections and sidebars and columns and links and articles, and if so, say once every 2 months you send an email newsletter and it has 8 article links in it and an executive summary of some kind and some other image and links to statistics and downloads and whatever, I think it's just too much. It's overwhelming the recipient, because what do you do when you get something like that, even if it's something you might be interested in? Many of us put it in the "I'll deal with that later" pile. And as we know, the "deal with that later" pile eventually gets deleted unread. So how can we, without using that system, still communicate effectively with our clients? I think there's an in-between. So my personal preference is, in fact, just to email solitary pieces of content. And if you're on my email list, you will know this. I have a tendency to email solitary content with a single link. That way, firstly, I'm respecting the time of the people I'm sending it to. They can decide very quickly, do I want to read this? Do I not want to read this? There's a single button to click. It's not time consuming to figure out what I might like to click or what I might not. And there's a single decision to make, yes or no. If they say no, that's fine. I haven't wasted their time trying to make them figure out how they could maybe say yes at some point in the future. If they say yes, even better. I've made that easy too. Beyond that, you could also adopt a more minimalist approach in terms of what you send by actually putting the content in your email. Now, a lot of people don't like this because you don't get the same kind of statistical analysis that you can get when people actually click on your links. Because if someone opens it at their end, you might get a statistic for that, but you don't know whether they actually read it or whether it was useful. But if you just have something pretty short to say, why would you make someone click away to visit that or to read that? Why not just put it in the email, the same as you would if you were sending them a text message or communicating with them? High alert, ensure that you sign up to this thing now or your legal rights will be compromised. Click here to do it immediately. It's really important. We've looked into it. You don't need to put that in a blog post. It's not a blog post. It's an alert. You could just get the text out there. That is the thing that is looking at the needs of your recipients rather than the needs of your marketing team. So consider what you're going to send carefully. I am not a fan of email newsletters. I think with the amount of email we get, they're just too complicated for people. People are too busy to have to think about 15 different potential things to click on. But other people might have different opinions. That is mine. That is what I think about email newsletters. That is what I think about a good way to use email marketing. And the number one question you need to ask yourself is this: Is what I'm doing respectful to the recipients? Would I appreciate getting this thing if I wasn't looking at it through rose-coloured glasses? That is it for this episode. Do all the nice things with reviews and subscriptions and hitting buttons and that sort of stuff. You can find me at digitalmarketingforlawyers.com. Don't forget to say hello, and I will see you next time.